Hi everyone, it's Kara. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit more about these pocket palettes because I have a new one to add to my collection. If you've been with me for a while, you will probably remember seeing this. The only thing really different about them right now is that I added one of these really beautiful stickers to the tops of them. These are both created by Bree, who is Documented Journey, both here on YouTube and on Instagram if you want to check her out. And I've really loved these little pocket palettes. This one has 4 rows of 7, so there's tons and tons of color there. Okay, and that is what I would call traditional watercolor. And then this one has some gouache in it that I've let dry. Gouache gets a little more cracked and crumbly, and I'm kind of sort of starting to try to play around with that a little bit. So that's what I have in each of these right now, and I love them. They're really convenient. I even just keep them out when I'm at home. I use them around the house when I'm doing something, and I just absolutely love the size of them. You know, obviously very, very portable. But then I noticed a couple weeks ago that they were coming out with a smaller size, and I got it just a couple days ago and I wanted to share it with you. First off, it comes in this adorable little bag. If this is how you want to carry it around, you can. And inside is the new little demi palette that you can see right here. It's very similar than the other ones. It holds 12 different colors, should you choose to use all 12 in this size, or of course you could use slightly different size tins. It would just decrease the number of colors you could have. So if you want to see kind of a comparison of size, this is what I would call the regular sized pocket palette. And then here is the demi. So basically it's about half. It's actually slightly smaller than half, because remember again, of those really small sized little tins, watercolor tins or little, you know, pans, this can hold 28. This can only hold 12. So it's a little bit smaller than half. But absolutely adorable, super, super portable, and honestly 12 colors would really be more than enough if you were traveling and that kind of thing. By comparison, aside from size, they're virtually identical, at least to me so far, meaning both of the lids have a side on it like this, right? So things are not just going to run off the edge over here on either side. They both have the little white mixing palette part. They both have the same bottom edge. They both have the same type of closure. Very, very similar. So I'm absolutely loving this. I'm actually going to fill it up with paints. Maybe as part of this video, I'll show you guys how I do that. It's not really all that complicated, but just in case you're curious, because I do like to try and somewhat even them out when I fill them myself. So I can show you how I do one of those if you'd like. But I wanted to go ahead and share this with you because I think that they're an excellent product, especially for those of you that like to travel with your watercolors. And Maria is the creator of the pocket palette, and she can be found on her own website and on Etsy. This is basically part of the art toolkit done by Expedientiary Art, I believe is how you pronounce that, and I will put links down below to her in case you're curious. And I think that's everything I really wanted to say about it, but if you guys want to stick around, I will show you just very briefly how I fill one of these little palettes. I guess I'll just talk about it. So what I usually do is first, once I've chosen my colors, I'm going to put some little bit of a name on the bottom so that I remember what color is in here and I don't have to guess. So I would do that first, and then I would start to fill them up and even them out. So let me get them labeled and then I'll come back and show you how I fill one. Okay, I'll be right back. Everyone, it's Kara, and I have obviously zoomed in so that you can hopefully see on the back of those little metal pans I have added the name of the watercolor that I intend to put in there, or an abbreviation of it if it was a longer name. I've also tried to add a little bit of an abbreviation to them so I know that this is Daniel Smith's Quinn Gold as opposed to a different watercolor brand, because I do have some colors in a couple different brands. And I've filled one pan already, just so you can see that over there, but I thought I'd go ahead and do one with you. Now I typically am gonna make a mess because that's just me, but I do usually try to have like wet wipes or a washcloth, something like that near me. I'm trying to figure out which color to do. I'll do this one. This one is a new color for me. It is a Winsor & Newton Opera Rose that I'm going to try. I thought it was a pretty color, and I don't have very many pinks in my collection that are like this. So basically I just use the toothpick to kind of semi-even out the paint. Some paints are more cooperative about that than others. We'll see how this one is. So I always try to squeeze from the back and bring the paint forward. This is a gorgeous color. Let's see. So I get a nice little bit in there like that. And then hopefully I'm going to just try and help it smooth out and kind of go into the corners. And like I said, some paint is more cooperative than others. I don't want the paint to be taller than the sides of the metal pan, because I don't want them kind of butting up against the top of the palette. And I'm also trying to, if I see any bubbles, I'm trying to get those out so that the paint will hopefully dry a little bit more evenly. And then if I feel like I need more, I would add more and do the same process again. But I think that one looks pretty good, and I managed to not actually get it all over myself. So then I'm just going to put it over here, and basically when I have these, I just kind of put them on both sides of the palette and set it aside and let it dry. Usually takes a couple days for it to dry down, but then I have, you know, my brand new palette set up. So that is the basics of how I fill these little tins up. Plus you got to see the little demi palette. If you have any questions about it or anything, please let me know. I love talking to you guys, and I'm always happy to answer questions. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I hope you're having a great day wherever you're at. Bye everybody.